All right. Since Mickey Mouse says it's 6 o'clock and the other one says and the internet says it's 6:02, we'll get started. I'd like to welcome everybody to the August 9th, 2018 special meeting. Oh, wait. We're going to do the city council regular one first. Bear with me. Let me get this computer working. We'll do the city council first, gentlemen. The city council. This time I'd like to invite Monty Sanders from the Church of the Nazarene to come up front and give our invocation.
Would you join me in prayer, please? Father, we come before you tonight. We have many things to thank you for. Tonight we want to thank you for Guymon. We want to thank you for this town and this community in which we live, we call home. We want to thank you for this place, Lord, that many call home, and those that haven't yet but will soon call this place home. We thank you for this town, this community, this place, Lord. We don't want to take for granted this place we call home. Thank you for these ladies and gentlemen that are here tonight, leaders, people who have chosen to be leaders of this community, chosen and decided to be leaders here in a way that might help this community be such that it would be a home for others and be a place that people would be proud to call home. I lift up these leaders here tonight, and I pray, God, that you would grant them wisdom as they discuss business, as they discuss planning, as they make decisions about things that concern our town, our home. Give them wisdom. I pray they wouldn't move forward at all apart from your leadership. Lord, bless them tonight. Bless this time. And Lord, may this time together be a blessing to you. Lord, again, we thank you. Thank you for who you are. Thank you for this community. And thank you for these leaders. We pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Mr. Livingood, would you lead the pledge?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Yeah. I don't know how you made that all.
Call this meeting to order. Agenda item number 2 is attendance roll call.
Peterson,
Here.
Swager, Alvidrez,
Here.
Crone,
Here.
Livingood,
Here.
Hoffman, here. Mr. Petty,
Here.
Mr. Wagner.
Here.
Agenda item number 3 is public comments and announcements. Are there any public comments or announcements tonight? Any public comments and announcements? Agenda item number 4 is approval of the consent agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvidrez,
Aye.
Livingood.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 5 is presentation of monthly activities and financial report by Artists Incubation. Ms. Strong.
Hey folks, how are you?
Good. You
I need these. Okay, I'm going to start on number 2. You have the financials. The community partnerships and participation. In July, Artist Incubation became a Main Street Guymon member. We also are part of the Guymon Community Theater. And would like to report that we were able to help with the Shawnee presentation that happened at the Guymon. They had some kind of reception down there, and we were able to help with that with equipment. So we wanted to kind of share with you that we do some community partnership like this that we haven't talked about before. We wanted you to know that we were doing that. And we did some Pioneer Day Parade t-shirts. I don't know, we gave some t-shirts to the Guymon Ambassadors Club for some reason. I don't know, one of my board members did that activity, but wanted you to know this, what we did on community partnerships. I'm pleased to announce that our July Kids Summer Art Camp was our largest yet. We had, I think, 45 students. They were from area-wide. There were 2 from Norman. I think there were some from Oklahoma City. People who brought their grandkids out here. I know that Steve Long has had his grandkids out here to our art camps before. But this is our largest yet. That's a lot of kids in that little building over there. That was a good time. So I don't know if any of you guys had your kids in there, but as a result of that, also, we had they had been asked if they wanted to enter some of that artwork in the Texas County Fair, and they were all given an entry form. Because, we haven't thought about that, and Consuelo had that idea. Why aren't we entering the fair with some of this work? So hopefully there'll be more entries at our fair. So that's another positive for local. So they're going to be doing some of that. We do have a workshop coming up again with Yvonne Sangster, and we're working on a photography class from kids to adult that a couple of photographers around town, I think Arlene Winfrey is going to do one, and maybe Larry Wiggins. I mean, you can even learn smart things to do with your cell phone to improve your photographs and things like that. So I think that'll be a good time. We also have our annual miniature art show coming up in November. It's always the Saturday before Thanksgiving. What's not listed here, of course, is there a Harvest Fest this year with the Guymon group? Do you guys know? Guymon Arts and Humanities, are they having another harvest? Do you know, Mayor? If they do, we'll participate in that. We have been every year. Let's see, we had an artist that donated some hours to catalog our work, and it just as a volunteer. Lastly, let's talk about the marketing, and then I'll go out to the kitchen. We do use, sponsored in part by the City of Guymon, when we advertise for things that we have grants for, such as the Kids Summer Art Camp. Your logo appeared in that marketing. And we also had Oklahoma Arts Council on that one, because we got a grant from them. So we do put your logo on there some, and one of the things I guess we could and should do is link to and from you at our website, because we're getting ready to launch a web store probably within a couple of weeks. And I don't know if we're on the City of Guymon's website. Are we listed there? Do you guys know? Do you link to us? Have you seen it there?
I haven't.
That would be a good thing if we would both do that. Lastly, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hand each of you just some documents, just as an FYI, that we feel shows that there's no reason we shouldn't be getting our kitchen license permit. So you may not know about this, but we've been having a hard time getting our permit over there to finish that. And we'd really like to move forward. We have some great things planned. And this is some documentation stating that the oven we're going to use from the manufacturer, this is from the engineering compliance director there, stating that what we're going to use does not require a type 2 vent hood or something like that. Anyway, this is some documentation. I hope that it would be useful to you. I just wanted to share it with you. Thank you for your support. It means a lot to us. I hope you'll stop in from time to time. We've changed things up over there. We've got new artwork in. And I'm going to hand you these if you don't mind, and thank you again for your support.
Thank you.
He's, here, I'll put it in the stack. He's on vacation.
Well, everybody's vacation. Thank you. Anybody wants this? Yeah. You want one?
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6 is an upgrade regarding the Panhandle Counseling and Health Center, PCHC, by Sarah Wagner. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you guys?
We're wonderful.
Thank you for having me. It's been a long time since I've been here to give you an update about the clinic, so I just wanted to take a few moments of your time, and I appreciate your time. Can you hear me? Is that better? Okay. I gave you a couple of handouts. The first is just kind of some bullet points that I'm going to touch on, and then all the materials behind are some different programs and projects that we're participating in. So we've been open now, it'll be 3 years in December. Things have grown so much faster than we could have ever imagined, which is great, but we're just running out of space, so I'll touch on that in a minute. We now have 16 employees, and our payroll is over $700,000 annually, so we're bringing that money back into the community. We now have 2 medical providers and 2 behavioral health providers. We're hoping in the future to add to our staff as far as providers go too. We are certainly not meeting the need that's out there, but we are doing our very best. So we are always looking to accommodate the needs in the community based on feedback from our patients, from our board members, from you all, and so we're adjusting our staff accordingly. We now have a patient base of a little over 5,300, and I'm very excited to say that year-to-date this year, we've had over $105,000 inpatient discounts. So that includes charity care, that includes our sliding scale discounts that we do for people who qualify on our sliding scale. So we're set to do quite a bit of charity care this year. And we are absolutely providing services to both insured and uninsured patients, but to people who haven't had access in the past. And we're really listening to the feedback from the community to make sure that we're providing those services. So we did have our second HRSA visit. HRSA is our funding entity. It's the Health Resources and Services Administration. That's always a ton of preparation for them to come, but I'm very excited to say it went very well this year. We were much more prepared this time than we were the first time. We had only been open for 8 months when they came the first time. So we had our ducks in a row, and they actually mentioned using our site as a model site for other FQHCs. So we were very proud of that comment. As far as our medical services go, we have, since I was here last time, we have implemented immigration physicals. That's something that we got feedback from our board members. We were unaware that a lot of people in Guymon were driving 2+ hours to do these immigration physicals, and it's very hard for people to take off of work to go that far, and then it's very expensive. And there's a very specific process that those physicals they require, and if they're sent in incorrectly, the patient actually has to start back over at their own cost. So we decided to get Dr. Reed certified as a civil surgeon, and we sought out that process, and I'm very proud to say that we've not gotten one back yet. So we're not only saving our patients time on the road, but also money because they haven't had to repeat that process. And it's been a really great service to the community. We also are looking to add additional providers, as I mentioned. I have 2 RNs who are currently going to school to become nurse practitioners, and I'm very excited about that because we all know recruiting to Guymon sometimes can be hard, so if we can grow our own and keep them here, we certainly support them in that program. This year we also received a quality grant. This was because our quality improvement had skyrocketed from the first year. And so every year we're required to turn in quality measures to HRSA, and if those are favorable or if they've improved from the year before, they give you money you didn't expect to have. So that's really nice. This year we got about $35,000, and we put that back into quality initiatives. So we're also working with Oklahoma Primary Care Association. We were selected, there were only 3 FQHCs selected in the state, and we were one of them, to participate in kind of a quality initiative pilot program with them. So we're really excited. That will help us just put in new policies and procedures to make sure we're moving forward and providing great services to our patients. Some of the state programs, and I did give you some materials on each of these because I won't dive into each of them, but we try to participate in as many programs as we can to help assist our patients. And most of it's outside of the scope that we can provide as far as the scope of care we can provide in the clinic. And so some of those are Oklahoma Project Woman, which provides mammograms at no cost to uninsured women. Oklahoma Cares is both cervical cancer screening and mammograms, Take Charge, and then Oklahoma Breast Network. And so there's just a little bit of information for you so that you guys know that those services are aware through our clinic. Dental services. We have brought Mobile Smiles here 3 times so far this year. We'll have them back 2 more times before the end of the year. And this mobile unit comes from Oklahoma City. It's part of the Oklahoma Dental Association. And that's a free service. We pay for them to be here for a week long each time that they're here. But that's a free service to the community. There's no prereqs for anybody to qualify. You don't have to have ID, you don't have to have insurance, you don't not have to have insurance. Anybody can come and take advantage of that. So far in the 3 clinics we've had, we've served 165 patients for a total of 838 procedures, and that was an estimated value of a little over $35,000 in services that we saved the members of our community. They'll be back in October and November. In October, we'll do what we did in March, which is with Dr. Gibson, we go into the school ahead of time and we screen those kids. We did about 1,600 before the March clinic, and we identified those kids who need the most emergent care, and then we parked the mobile unit at the school, which is like no fun to go to school and have to go to the dentist, but it was really nice for their parents to get that all taken care of in one fell swoop. So we'll do that again. We will screen fourth and fifth grade, in September for the October clinic, and we'll again park the unit at the school. So we really, until we can provide full-time services at the clinic, we really think the mobile unit is our best option. We also provided to all those kids that were screened toothbrushes, toothpaste, and then education on dental health. And it was shocking how many students did not have their own toothbrush. A lot were sharing or didn't have one at all. So those simple things that we take for granted, we've really realized are a huge need in the community. So we can provide as many toothbrushes as we possibly can so that everybody can have their own. The next thing, behavioral health services. We have two behavioral health providers now. One issue that we continue to have is in the state of Oklahoma, once a person becomes a licensed counselor, they have to have 3,000 hours of supervision in order to be a fully licensed counselor. And this is very hard for us because we can't bill for a candidate. So we received a grant that allowed us to pay for a candidate, but we are unable to bill for her, so she has to mostly see self-pay patients. I've met with Todd Lamb, Senator Lankford, and Senator Murdoch to discuss this issue because it really puts us in such a bind. It really does the whole state, but for us being out here, and it's, like I said, hard to recruit to this area, there's not any incentive for a candidate to get a position at a clinic, and they're unable to start their own practice. So it's really very hard for us to make any sort of dent in the behavioral health crisis that we're going through without having that at least cut down. I understand requirements, but 3,000 hours is quite a bit for somebody who has a master's degree. So we're continuing to work on that. In the meantime, we've added a few other services through our behavioral health, and one of those is the NeuroAdvantage Trainer. I gave you a little bit of information about this. This is kind of a non-traditional approach. It's a device that people can use, and you can program it for several things. For smoking cessation, you can do it for post-traumatic stress syndrome, all kinds of things. And we've really gotten great feedback. And so this is something that we can do in conjunction with counseling or on its own. And so we're really excited to offer that service as well. We also have a psychiatric nurse practitioner via telemedicine, and we have her available 2 days a week, and we're hoping to expand those hours as well. We have applied for a grant that would allow us to do that. We're just kind of waiting to hear back from that. Let's see, in addition to that, we're joining a consortium of, I believe, 12 counties and several different agencies in the state to work on a HRSA planning grant. This is for opioid abuse, which is what the federal government is putting a lot of money towards. This will allow us to kind of be on the front end of that and be organized so that when monies are put out for that, we can qualify for it and we'll be ready to apply for it. So we're really just trying to be proactive in the opioid crisis. HRSA actually did a study recently, and they picked the top 220 counties in the U.S. For opioid abuse and morbidity, and Cimarron County was actually in the top 222. Only 2 counties in Oklahoma were, and Cimarron was one of them. So we know we have a lot of work to do in this area. In outreach, Bob Berger is our outreach professional. He has actually worked with our uninsured patients, and he's reduced that number from 21% uninsured to 16% as far as our patients go, which is really nice because we're not just treating our patients, we're also finding other options for them. If they currently qualify on a scale, if they don't have insurance, we're trying to find some different options for them to have coverage. We continue to participate in community service events. We're working with Main Street Guymon to do educational publications and support groups, put some support groups in place. Lastly, I have been working with several different CEOs in the state, but I'm also trying to serve in as much areas as I can, mostly for my own benefit and so that we continue to so that people continue to think about us out here so we're relevant. But I'm currently serving on the Sooniverse board. I also am active on the Oklahoma Primary Care Association board and Primary Care Network of Oklahoma. This has helped me immensely. It's helped our clinic immensely, and it really gives us a network with our staff and different contacts for our staff members to get help. So, can't say enough about our staff. They are the reason why we're able to take care of as many patients as we can. They're really top of the line employees and professionals, experts in their field. And then really our board has been incredibly supportive too. For them to come and have an active role in the direction of the clinic is what HRSA wants to see. And that's it's a quarter of our grade when they come here on site is the way that the board interacts and how involved they are. So really that's what's gotten us to this point. But I just wanted to give you guys an update, take an opportunity to answer any questions. I didn't mention we are still planning on building a new clinic. It'll be on East Street where Dr. Reed's old clinic was. We're working with Guymon Enrichment Foundation to get that going. It just, with federal dollars, everything takes a little bit longer than expected. So we know that's a need, and we know we need to expand, and we're working towards that.
So you'll be on the same road as the Texas County?
Yes, which will be great because we send our uninsured patients and our insured patients over there for imaging services. And for some of those patients who don't speak English, we really have one shot to get them there. And so if they can't find where they're going, we might never see them again. So we would be able to physically walk them over to the hospital for those services. And then also being so close to the health department, we work with them on a daily basis as well. So we're anxious to get over there.
And with your health clinic, there are, in my experience, my daughter vaccinations wise for an infant, for a baby.
Yes.
So the federally qualified health center offers more vaccinations than the state.
Yes, we actually do. We actually house more vaccine than anybody in Texas County. So we offer not only private stock vaccines, but also vaccines for children, which allows anybody up to 18 to get those vaccines.
That's great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for your support. We really appreciate it. Anybody who'd like to come out and see our current location and hear about our plans for our new building, I'd be excited to show you around and introduce you to our staff. So, thank you, guys.
Well,
I
thank you
appreciate
for all the
it.
good
Thank you
work.
very much.
Thank you.
It's great. Okay. Agenda item number 7, is discussion and possible action on approval of the contract between Libra Electric Company and the City of Guymon for the Guymon runway lighting and Odell's project for the Guymon Municipal Airport. Contracts attached. Mr. Wagner?
This is the bid that y'all awarded on the May 10th council meeting. Libra was the winning bid dealing with our airport. This is still part of the grant that we had gone out for, I guess it was February, March, the 95.5%, the city will match that. And it was, I can't remember exactly, I don't have the number in front of me.
Give or take
but
$900,000.
It was, yeah, about close to $1 million, but, our take was 50, which the state or the FAA would actually reimburse us. It's really no cost to us, but Libra was the winning bid, and this is just the contract for y'all's approval.
And that whole project was approved last month,
Right.
so we got the grant. Any discussion? Motion?
Make a motion that we approve contract between Libra Electric Company and the City of Guymon for the Guymon runway lighting nodals project for the Guymon Municipal Airport, item 7.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crum.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Livengood.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 8 is discussion and possible action on accepting the 2019 Oklahoma Arts Council Grant Award. I think Mr. Wagner's given us all out some information, and staff report and award notification is attached. Is there any discussion? questions?
Just a little background information with this. What we go out for, this whole grant system and the cycle goes through the fiscal year, not on a calendar year. So this is actually going through next year, which was approved on, well, I don't have it. The no, I don't have that exact date. But anyways, it's going into the 2019 fiscal year. They have actually, to be honest, we did not accept or did not think we would get this grant. A little background information, we were late with our Guymon Area Arts and Humanities Commission in getting everything submitted before the end of the June 30th cutoff, which I mean, we're going to have to do something on that if we're going to continue down that, because this grant is a 50-50 that y'all would be approving, which is a $4,000 from the Arts, Guymon, Oklahoma Arts Council, but also from ours as well. So they have actually, and I've given you that handout that requires and what it is they expect to see if this grant is accepted and we continue down that path. So just a little background information on where we are currently and what they are expecting of our GAHC if it is the council's will to continue.
So there are a lot of steps left, a lot of the process left still to do.
There is.
For next year, right?
For next year, and this is going forward with next year. And something else I would like to state within this is they have asked us to do, well, they have asked the Guymon Area Arts and Humanities Commission to do more and what they would like to see going forward. That is something that I'm not saying is not unattainable. We could do that, but with the staffing that we have in place, it's on the Guymon Area Arts and Humanities Commission to do that, not on city staff. We can't. I mean, and a lot of this as well, I cannot do this. I mean, I do not have the time for it, but if this is the will of council to put it on them, they will need to do these things.
But we're accepting the grant, and it has been approved, and we've done this for the last several years, and done the match.
Correct.
And
This is going forward. What y'all,
then if we're going to go forward next year, we're going to have to either streamline our processes, get some more folks together and work a little more in sync or something, but.
well, I mean, right. The thing is like the final of getting everything approved. We were too late this year in getting it all submitted. I mean, it wasn't there at that time. We couldn't get it before y'all, before the deadline at the end of the fiscal year. So that was a problem. You know, that at that time for final report should have been done, and we're trying to spend these funds that the Oklahoma Arts Council and the city of Guymon has given for this grant. So we need to be ahead of that if that is going to be the process. I'm just giving my opinion. We can't wait till the last second to spend these funds, and with the requirements that the Oklahoma Arts Council is asking of us, we need to be ahead of it if that is the way we are going to go.
Any other comments, questions?
I'd like to make a motion that we accept this, but moving forward, that the Guymon Area Artists and Humanities Commission take full responsibility for this application.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Livingood,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 9 is discussion regarding certain ordinances pertaining to fees and language, and some documentation is attached.
Okay,
You
so
want to start this?
I'll start this. This could get lengthy, and I will apologize if we're going to do so. I have given y'all, there, within all those giant paperwork that y'all have, there is a list of what we currently charge within our fee schedule. That is the city of Guymon. Now, these are all spread out between a bunch of different ordinances that we have within our system. My question, and there is no action on this particular one, but as I've highlighted where it states within fees and the language is, do you gentlemen want to change this? Do you want to leave it the same? Do you think there's a need to increase because some of these have been in place since 1984? I'm just getting a feel for what it is y'all want to do. That way, in the event you would like a change, I can get Mr. Petty to draft y'all's will, and then we can go forward with that. But it's really just a discussion item to see where y'all are at. Do y'all want to change this? Do you think those are fair? Do you want any part of this to, I mean, we can discuss each one particular. Hang on, I'll get to it. Maybe. So in chapter, I'll start with section 8, within our food and restaurants. What we currently charge within the city of Guymon is a $25 fee and a $5 for an itinerant. Any thoughts? Do y'all want, do you think that's where we're at?
Let's compare it to the state of Oklahoma.
All right, let me get the rest.
On-premise beer and wine license?
No, that's a different one. We'll go to that one on the next item number. These are just the main ones dealing with a couple of different ordinances I went ahead and pulled, and everything that we have at the current stages within the city of Guymon, because I figured it'd be easier if there are changes that the council wants, that we can knock this all out in one fell swoop, because we are going to have to, regardless, change the next item pertaining to the Able Commission that goes into effect October 1. So just really, what is it y'all want to do? Or is there anything y'all want to do?
What constitutes an itinerant? I guess you'd say restaurant.
Threw me a curveball.
I'm sorry.
That, well, I don't have that in front of me.
I think and Mr. Petty may have a better definition, but I think that would be somebody that's not a resident business that comes in from out of town.
It's not a brick and mortar, right?
It says here itinerant restaurant means one, operating for a temporary period in connection with a fair, carnival, circus, public exhibition, or other similar gathering.
So that license is $5 for the entire period that they're here, or is that correct? Or-
I can't find my page 8.
You're probably getting the gist of where I'm going with this. I think we need to look at that a lot harder, and I don't think $5 is enough.
Okay.
I agree,
So
Councilman.
is there an idea of what, I mean, and you can't, of course, we can't take action on this, but I can get a better feel. Do you think within an itinerant, $50, $20? I mean, how far are we?
What are other towns like size of Guymon charging for a restaurant permit? Do you have that?
I do. Of course, I don't have it in front of me. I polled a few different towns and Woodward is one. We have Edmond, and I can't remember did I give y'all that in y'all's packet? Because I don't have it in front of me within the town. No, that's your state. Thought I printed all that out, but maybe I did not.
Here you go.
That's all I gave it to all of y'all.
I would not raise it Oklahoma, like the state. but there's still, we need to bring it up to par.
Would, and I don't want to try to I'm not trying to cut the discussion off by any means, but maybe would it not be more advantageous to schedule this as an in-depth work session night where we have time to
Yeah, I think
do
it'd
some
be
research and have a real good discussion with information previous to that?
I think these need to change, update them. I think we need a little bit more information as to what the state is doing, what towns like size are doing, and where we think we fit in that category ourselves. And if I think we had some of that information from us, it would make it a little bit easier to, hey, let's come to agreement on this number. I mean, an itinerant restaurant, $5 isn't enough, but is 50 too much? Is it 100? Is it 25? What? I don't have anywhere to benchmark what we need to be at.
Well, I mean, the Oklahoma State's Court Network handout, you got that? It gives you a glimpse of what that is. We're talking hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to get that.
Retail beer license, $500, retail wine license, $1,000.
That's a whole different thing.
Yeah,
This is the next item.
this is the next
agenda
item.
We're talking just regular.
Just,
and
yeah,
I wasn't
I
gonna get
mean,
into this too.
right, but the ordinances, they kind of go hand in hand, though.
What, and I don't really want to talk a whole lot about the restaurant part of it, if you all understand. But I think if you go on through this, we get into fees and structure for,
Let's look at childcare for each school.
you know, childcare, circuses, whatever. Pool
That's
halls.
$25. It seems like it's just a $25 fee for everything. I mean, 1983, I wasn't even alive. I mean, I get $25 back then was probably a little more than it is now, but I mean, got to get with the times here a little bit.
Yeah, I believe a work session is in order, and these need to be updated.
I agree with that. I'd make a motion, we table this and schedule a special work session just for these fees and licenses on this particular item.
Item 9, I second that.
Have a motion and a second.
There is no action to be taken
No
on this
action to
item.
be taken, okay.
Oh, okay.
All right, we'll move on then. But thanks for bringing that up for our discussion, Mr. Wagner. Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action on increasing annual occupational license tax on businesses or occupations relating to alcohol beverages with the effective date of October 1st, 2018. Before we start the discussion, gentlemen, I will recuse myself from the discussion and I will abstain from any votes. So I'll let you all talk.
Guys, the reason I have asked for this is really, so everything's changed October 1. We're going to, it's a whole new world with the Able Commission. As we look through our ordinances, now you have it in front of you, but you have a 1 and a 2. Back in 1984, they did not, and David, if I speak in the wrong, you please let me know, but they did not actually notice 3.2 as being alcohol. Yeah, that wasn't even part of it. That's why you see 2 ordinances separated at this point. With October 1 being the new law in effect, it's no longer a 3.2 to con a non-alcoholic beverage. Everything will be High Point. I also have given y'all a current list of the fees of, again, one, dealing with the state statute and what has changed, but also where we currently are charging at this point. And I need y'all's feedback and discussion to say, okay, these are kind of where we want to be, because it really, if I come up with a number, it's no good if that's not what the council wants. and go through the process of having Mr. Petty draft and write and go through the whole ordinance. But we do need to find some common ground where we can go with it and have at least a month. That's why I need y'all's action on this one, to get it drafted and then approved. That way, all of our businesses in town can have this in place for at least a month, because we're coming down to the end at this point.
When we draft this, when will this license go into effect?
The October 1st with the Able Commission? Okay, so I'm not for sure. If you have.
I'm not worried about Able, I'm worried about Guymon.
Right. If you have a license right now with the 3-2, it expires. It will not be good, unless I'm wrong, Mr. Petty, but come October 1, 3-2 is no more.
October 1st, there won't be a non-intoxicating license.
Right.
It'll be the wine or the High Point beer.
I may be wrong, but I think some businesses have very recently just renewed their city licenses for all alcohol, basically, I guess, whether it be Low Point beer, High Point beer, whatever. And if they've renewed this month, are we going to hit them again in October?
Yeah,
Again, Mr.
October
Petty.
1st. After October 1,
It all
no
changes.
existing license will be effective.
Are we going to give them credit for that?
I think it's a state.
I doubt if the state will, I don't know, and I don't know how big a problem that might be.
Well,
Because I think they're annual. I think the county permits are annual, and the state permits are annual. And the city permits, I would expect, are coexistent with those.
do our permits, are they go on a calendar year or a anniversary year?
A lot of it is within the permit cycle of, it has gone through. If you started a business in June of last year, that's whenever they had come in and gotten their permits, and then it had gone.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any choice about the
Well, I
October 1st.
understand.
That's
I understand
that's
that. I just, one of my questions would be, do we want to, well, I'm not even going to ask that question.
If I could add just a point of
You were
information.
staying out of this.
No, this is a point of information strictly.
Go ahead.
Because we had, the Able Commission people met with the mayor's council at our board of director in February. Able, an Able license is not based on any particular date in the year. If they issue it to you on August the 10th, it will be renewable next August the 10th. That was what it is, an anniversary license.
Thank you. My feeling on this is that those businesses that at the present time have a on-premise, I'm going to call it non-alcoholic beverage license, in other words, a Low Point beer, I think they should be raised to $150. I also think that grocery stores, convenience stores, et cetera, that are selling beer for off-premise consumption should also be $150. Those businesses that are acting as bars or restaurants where they're selling mixed drinks already and what have you, they're already paying us $300, and I think that's fair. My opinion.
I still think 150 is still too low. I'd like to see that go up to at least 300. Beer and wine, mixed, 300. Liquor stores by state, 600 is fair.
Just a little background information in case you don't know the current, what the city has on is the 600 for spirits and 300 for mixed beverage. The beer and, well, it wasn't wine at that point, but a beer permit was $20. I'm sorry, I should have given you all that information at the beginning.
Based on this list that you gave us, so a place that's, and just to make this clear, I'm gonna have to name somebody. We'll say Cactus Jack's here. They're paying $20 for a beer license and $300 for a mixed drink license, correct?
That is
That beer
correct.
license is gonna go away.
Correct. But
So we're gonna lose $20 on that if we stay at 300.
well, and Mr. Petty can correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't think beer and wine are within a mixed drink license. I don't think they're all combined, are they?
No, that's different.
Okay, they're
Are
two
they?
different
Yeah,
licenses.
there's a license for wine and beer, then there's a liquor license.
They are separate, even for a business that's already selling mixed
Yeah.
drinks, when it goes to High Point.
I mean, $300, that's
I still think
$25 a month.
I still think 150 is plenty, because that's gonna kick them up, if we left it at 300, that's gonna kick them up to 450 right there. And we are drawing sales tax on all this stuff. Plus, they also, those that are selling mixed drinks also will pay an extra 13.4 or something like that.
To the
for
state?
tax to the state.
I'm gonna go with the 300, like I originally said. Not the 150. I get that, we're asking them to spend some money, but, $300, I think you can come up with that.
So it'd be y'all want to leave retail spirits at 600, mixed drink, leave at 300, and increase from the $20 for beer and wine. I've got two of you saying 300 and one saying 150.
Do we have to make a decision on this tonight? Is this a tonight deal? Just out of curiosity, because
You don't.
Mr. Swagger's not here.
I understand Mr. Swagger's not here. I really, and I'm not saying we can't do it, guys, but for the sake of everyone else, I would, and you have 3 weeks between now and our next council meeting. I really I'm not forcing your hand, but I need to get this drafted, and we need a month to get everybody in our town all together where we get it figured out, because I would really, really hate anyone that miss out within that October 1 deadline. That's my only concern.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of hitting them up in a hurry. I mean, we got one at 150, one at 300. You throw 200 out there, I mean, you're just adding a zero for the beer license. That to me also seems fair. It's been for, I mean, let's see. It's been $20 for,
33.
Is that where you get?
84.
Wasn't it?
Oh, wait.
I'm going to ask a question. So, in the form of a motion, Mr. Petty, we would need to, do we need to list them all that we want to change?
All you're
Price?
doing tonight is making a recommendation. It'll have to be put in an ordinance form and then come back to the council to be passed as an ordinance. So
Okay.
your action tonight can't be binding,
Okay.
because that's got to be in an ordinance. But what you're,
We're giving you direction to write an ordinance.
yeah, what you're doing is just, picking the numbers to go in an ordinance, and then that ordinance will come back to you to look at and see if that's what you want.
So the motion would be made increasing annual occupation tax on business or occupations related to alcoholic beverages with an effective date. And then we would,
Then
with
I'll
the stip-
draft an ordinance
the
based on what
stipulation.
you're thinking about. Yeah.
Do you need a dollar amount tonight? Roughly?
Well, unless you want me to put the numbers in. I'd rather not.
So, does anybody have a motion on numbers?
Yeah, I think that'd be the better procedure.
Yeah, I'll see, I'll make a motion on increasing annual occupation tax on businesses or occupations relating to alcoholic beverages with an effective date of October 1st, 2018, making the beer permit, raising that to $200, leaving the mixed drinks as is, and
That's at $300?
at $300, leaving the liquor stores as is at $600. The markets, raising those to $300 as well.
Off premises, $300.
Right. Or, sorry, I said, backtrack, we'll keep it the same at $200. I had 300 in my mind.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Pavone, are you good on the motion?
Crone,
Yeah, I'll agree to that, aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Livingood,
Aye.
Peterson.
Abstain?
We've got 1 nay, 3 ayes.
Okay. Agenda item number 11 is discussion of possible executive session to discuss settlement of pending litigation with D&M Technologies pursuant to Section 25 Oklahoma Statutes, 2011 307B4.
Make a motion that we go in executive session on pending litigation with D&M Technologies pursuant to 25 OS 2011 307B4, item 11.
Second.
Have a motion in 2 seconds.
Crone,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Livingood.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Mr. Mayor, I think you could go ahead and address this next item
At the same
for
time.
executive session, so you don't have to come back in and go right back out.
You want to go ahead and read it, or?
So we'll consider agenda item number 12, possible executive session to conduct city manager's quarterly employment performance review pursuant to Title 25 Oklahoma Statutes 307, Section 1.
Make a motion, we go into executive session to conduct city manager's quarterly employment performance, item 12.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Livingood.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
We will go to this executive session. We'll be back.
Make a motion, we reconvene on item 11 and 12.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to reconvene.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Crone.
Aye.
Livingood.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item 12, there's no action taken. New business, item number 13. Mr. Crum,
I would make a motion that we approve the pending litigation with D&M Technologies pursuant to the settlement.
Second.
have a motion and second to accept the settlement with D&M Technology.
Who seconded?
Mr. Livingood, didn't you settle
Yeah.
it?
Alvidrez?
Aye.
Crone?
Aye.
Livingood?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Okay. Any other new business? Not, we will move to the Airport Authority. I'm sorry, I should have reconvened. I'll call the airport meeting, Guymon Airport Authority meeting to order. We've already, agenda item number 2 is approve the minutes of the regular meeting of June 28th of 2018.
Make a motion we approve the minutes of the June 28, 2018.
Second.
Have a motion in 2 seconds.
Livingood?
Aye.
Crone?
Aye.
Alvidrez?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action on approval of contract between Libra Electric Company and the City of Guymon for the Guymon runway lighting, the ODOS project for the Guymon Municipal Airport.
Make a motion we approve the contract between Libra Electric Company and the City of Guymon, item 3.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Livingood?
Aye.
Crone?
Aye.
Alvidrez?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Is there any new business? Not will stand adjourned as the Guymon Airport Authority. Will reconvene as the Guymon Utilities Authority. Agenda item number 3 is discussion and possible action of approval of application for payment number 5 to Slattery Construction in the amount of $56,078.88 for the lift station in Force Main to serve Southeast Guymon project. Application for payment is attached. Any questions, a motion?
This is the 5th payment. We've had 4 previous on this, and this is just the work that has been conducted, all a part of the 2015 A note that we have been working on in the last 6 months. The balance after this invoice, if approved, would be the $63,000 remaining, and that's where we're at within this one.
I'd like to make a motion approval of application for payment number 5 to Slattery Construction, the amount of $56,078.88 for the lift station in Force Main to serve the Southeast Guymon project.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvidrez?
Aye.
Livingood?
Aye.
Crone?
Aye.
Peterson?
Aye.
We've got 4 ayes.
Any new business? Agenda item number 5 is reports from the city manager and council members. Mr. Wagner.
I've given y'all more information, I think, tonight than I ever have, but y'all can look at that later at a different time. But to highlight some of it, I put in there an award that I'm not saying we will win, but I'm really hoping for with Oklahoma Municipal League Awards next month. We have submitted the emergency cleanup declaration that we did last year with the ice storms for the Innovation Award through OML in the state of Oklahoma. So it'll be interesting to see if there's a possibility, but hey, you know, it's kind of outside the box, and maybe there's a chance we get that. So that's kind of exciting. I wanted to let everyone know that school is starting. Kids will be out, so slow down, take a little bit more time. I know that sun's still in my eyes when I come to work in the morning, so just look out. The other thing is, if you, and I don't have Facebook, but we have currently started on Mondays updating what we have currently at the animal shelter with animals. It's on our Facebook page, and we're hoping that more and more people would see it and hopefully adopt more of the animals that we currently have and give them a good home. So I look forward to the feedback we get from that. Also, the county fair is next week. Again, you know, kind of runs with the school starting. Be careful, take time. We're kind of wrapping up at the end of the year. Also, what you have in front of you is there is an agreement in there that I can talk to each one of you on a one-on-one basis in the future, but these are things that we are going to have to review as we go forward into 2019. And these are more things that we will bring before council and discuss, hopefully within the year. I also gave y'all the numbers and what is in at this time with our sales tax, our use tax, and our hotel motel tax. And if you have any questions or want to talk about that, feel free to reach out and visit with me at any time. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Anyone?
Nothing at this time, Mayor.
Nothing, just good. Well, I'm going to reemphasize what Mitch said about school. Want to congratulate the girls softball, even though they didn't win last night. They kicked their season off. They've got a very energetic group this year in the field. If you get a chance to drive out by there, they've got a lot of local volunteers, daddies and mamas and whatever, helping, and it really looks good. Yeah, Sean, shouldn't take this away from you and Sergio, but Panhandle State, I don't know if they started rolling the green stuff out, but they're coming right along on the renovations.
Drove by this morning, actually. Looks like the rain has probably slowed them down a little bit, but last weekend, Coach Gaskamp was pretty optimistic that would get done. So,
Well, anyway, the scoreboard's pretty impressive just by itself. And this weekend, and it's in memory, the fire department hosts a fundraising golf tournament. It's in memory of Kenny Huckins, the Kenny Huckins golf tournament this weekend, so reminder for that. OPSU, the kids are back and classes are starting, and if you're down on Sunset, as Mitch said, we've got kids going to football practice in the morning, but also there's a tremendous amount of young people that are involved in the cross-country program, and they run all over out in the west part of town, so keep your eyes peeled for those kiddos. We don't want to go through what Hooker did several years ago. And that's all I've got, but there's a lot of good things happening in Guymon, and we got to remember that there are good things going on every day in our community. Anybody got anything else? Miss Petty? Our city treasurer, you never talk. We'll let you talk.
Just trying to get well.
Get well, that's right. You've been sitting next to Dave. You might want to go and take
Yeah,
some
sorry, Lynn.
pills
Sorry,
tonight.
Lynn. Yeah.
All right, with that, we'll stand adjourned. Thank everybody for coming.